Oh, you nasty boy.
Oh, he will sit there and lick feet for a shameful amount of time.
You will not lick my feet.
He's a feet boy.
Not even the Loodle Doodle can lick my feet. Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Happy Peas podcast, where we're just two peas in a pod. I'm Stephanie.
I'm Molly.
And I'm fucked up today.
Not on alcohol.
No.
Or drugs.
No. That's true. I'm fucked up on people. People got me fucked up today.
I feel that.
Okay, so you ever think too hard about words?
Mm-hmm.
You ever think about the phrase "you suck"?
Yes.
It occurred to me recently that, like, you suck the joy and kindness and everything good I have. You just suck it right out of me. You suck. And today there was like bright and early somebody just decided they were gonna suck today.
It reminds me of a less bad time where a lady just gave me patient's name and date of birth and the imaging, and it made no sense. I was like, okay. And I figured she was asking us to push somewhere because she also gave a location. I was like, oh, if you want imaging push to a location, like to like multicare or something, I was like, you can just, you would have to go through medical records. She was like, no, I'm requesting imaging. And I was like, oh, well, you didn't say that.
Then tell me what you want.
Yeah.
Like, yes, ask me your question. And I will answer it. Give me your request and I will process it. If you give me half the shit I need to know, you're gonna get half the shit you want.
Yeah.
Ooh!
Yeah.
I told my boss that I was like, I was like, this is what we should talk about today. And she was like, have fun talking shit on people. I was like, I will. Because it's just frustrating. Like,
yeah.
I take my job very seriously, and I take on a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, like, some people, like, my boss is not a thank you for the sake of sending an email.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if someone says something, she gets to work on the solution, on the answer. She starts to solve the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually email, we'll get right back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they send me something, I'm like, thanks, I'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
And people have, like, some people complain that she doesn't send, like, I'll do it right now, that she doesn't just acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, but sometimes I am that person, because if I send something really important that's time sensitive and then an hour goes by, I'm like, did you get my email?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I get it that you're, like, solutions based, but I'm also like, it's nice to be heard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's nice to feel seen, especially when it's important.
Yeah. And just to know, like, they don't know that you're working on the solution.
Mm-hmm.
He's hunting you.
You gonna eat me?
They don't know you're working on the solution unless you tell them and acknowledge them. So,
yeah.
hey. Wow. So I don't know. It just got me fucked up today.
I think that's like a boss thing because my boss never gets back to me.
Hey.
And it's incredibly frustrating, and I'm just like, can I have a solution, please?
Well, and it's funny too because she's very like, make a phone call, and I'm like, write it down,
Yeah.
send an email. I can coherently structure all of my thoughts and pick all of the right words, and I can write a very thoughtful email.
Mm-hmm.
If I call someone, I'm like, hi, I'm calling you, and I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
And it's just bad. Hey, everything's okay.
It's just me today. You want to eat me?
But I just, like, I love my job, and I love what I do. But there are some days that I'm just like, you don't gotta be rude.
Yeah.
You don't have to be mean.
Yeah.
Kindness is
a thing.
I was gonna say kindness is easy, but I'm over here like, fuck you, bitch!
No, I feel like...
Hey, kindness is easy, honey.
It's a response.
If you acknowledge, oh, I'm sorry, I must not have been clear.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Hey.
You get more what is it? You get more flies with honey.
And
not
vinegar?
Yeah.
I don't want any flies.
Mm.
Unless they're butterflies.
That's fair.
My sister is afraid of butterflies.
Jason is afraid of butterflies, which I think is hilarious.
I used to make fun of her for it, and now I'm afraid of moths.
I like both.
It's their unpredictability. Like, if there's a moth in my house, I'm like, and I don't want to say they're terrifying, because they're not, but I'm just like, if I try to get you outside, are you gonna fly in my mouth?
Yeah, that's fair. They are.
Don't do it.
When you try to catch them, they're like,
yeah,
I'm gonna get you.
I'm like, I don't want to crush you, but you're giving me enough stress that, like, now I have to.
Yeah.
It's my only option.
You won't let me take you outside, so.
Catch me outside.
Yeah.
Catch you inside, put you outside. How about that?
Do you like that?
He loves his ears being played with. But it just got me, like, I've had a lot of bad jobs. I like my job that I have now. I've had good jobs that just, you just leave them behind at some point. You're like, thank you so much for everything you gave me. Peace.
Yeah. I think I really only have one job that I would consider that was like that.
Did we work there together?
No, I was going to bring that place up, though.
Oh, okay.
Because while, like, I have a lot of beef with the company, not with, like, the employees.
Yeah.
Like,
not local, but corporate.
Yeah, because, like, local, everyone's great. Well, for the most part. Mostly everyone is great. Yeah. And I felt very, very taken care of by my immediate staff and management. But the company could care less. And
I have found that to be true with most companies.
Yeah. I think it just drives me nuts because you work there alone. You have you have someone else for maybe like an hour or two, and then you're on your own for the rest of your shift, and it is not safe.
No.
Doesn't matter your gender. Doesn't matter, and it doesn't matter if you're a big scary looking guy or if you're a teeny tiny not scary. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not safe.
Yeah.
And especially like for going to the bathroom
or taking the trash out
or even opening and closing. Like, there are so many safety issues, and there have been people who have gotten physically hurt and killed because they're alone.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah. And it is my biggest, like, I have a lot of issues with the company.
I feel like I guess you get the most vocalness. You get the most vocalizations from people that have negative things to say.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that have a lot of beef with the company that were not fired, that left, and then were just like, I fucking hate it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the staff that I worked with, like, obviously, you're not gonna get along with everybody.
Yeah.
But I feel like everyone is taken care of to the best ability of the management and the leadership. But the company doesn't pay anyone enough, even with I don't know if I want to say recently, it was in the last, like, 2 or 3 or 4 years, but, like, they don't pay you enough. They work you alone, which is not safe, and I feel like if you're going to work alone, you should be paid a livable wage, which you are not. You're not, like...
Can we talk about a livable wage?
Absolutely, because...
I get really mad when people say that minimum wage is not intended to be a livable wage, because look up the quote.
Yeah.
Minimum wage was the minimum amount of money that you needed to support yourself as a single person.
Yeah.
Support yourself. Food, rent, amenities.
Yeah.
Basic shit that may or may not be considered a right in America.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I get when people are like, it's minimum wage. Get a better job. I'm like, minimum.
Yeah.
Not the minimum they have to pay you. The minimum that you should be making to support yourself. And that's why minimum wage increases. Then everything else increases too. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like everyone should be paid a livable wage,
Yeah.
but it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And like, as someone with chronic illness
Oh, tiny.
that's invisible, my boss this last year was like, "You've taken too many days off because you're chronically ill. Like, you're not getting a raise this year."
But if you were missing a leg, or if you had cancer,
Yeah.
and you didn't have any hair from your treatment, you would not be hearing that.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. On the days where I'm not okay, you can tell. It's very easy to tell because I'm pale. And I like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I put on, like, I mask when I don't feel good,
Yeah, everyone does.
but you can still, like, physically see that I am not well.
Yeah. I remember I had a job and I passed out, and it was a food serving job.
Mm-hmm.
And there was something internally that was going on that I pass out from pain.
Mm-hmm.
So there was something inside that just hurt a lot because I'm a lady and my lady parts are like, let's explode! Whee!
Yeah.
They're called ovarian cysts, and they're fucking terrible.
They hurt real bad.
They do. So that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I was making the guys drink, and I was like, okay, put the ingredients in the blender. Okay, put the blender on the thing. Okay, count to 10. Look at it. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty smooth. Great. Get the cup. You're almost done. Give him his drink, and then you'll sit down. And I picked up the cup, and I went, here you go. And then I woke up covered in his drink.
Aw.
But I know that guy was watching me, like, and I was trying my hardest to look fine and
Mm-hmm.
normal and, like, breathe, okay? And I was doing everything I could to just stand up. And I'm like, that man knew I was not okay.
Yeah.
Despite me being like, hi!
How you doing?
And then, the fact that I went, pew!
Yeah.
Probably was an indicator.
Yeah.
I think
Probably.
they drug tested me that day to be like, why did you just faint? I'm like, I don't know. I've never done that before, and I've done it so many times since then.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane what having lady parts can do.
Didn't they say that cramps are essentially like little heart attacks?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I really want to hook all of my guy friends up to the period simulator.
Me too. Me too.
And be like, how does it feel, buddy?
Yeah. I'm like, I have a cramp. And he's like, oh. And Craig is so sweet and good about, like, paying attention. Like, when I'm like, oh, I have a cramp, he's like, do you need anything? Do you want a water? Do you want an Advil? I'm like, I want to sleep for like a month,
Mm-hmm.
and I want a heating pad, but I also want some cold water because the heating pad's gonna make me too hot. So it's kind of funny. I was editing the last one, and the parts where he barks, and I'm like, shh. You can't really hear him barking.
Mm-hmm.
You can sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
But like there was one that you bonked your microphone into itself or something, and
Mhm.
you went, oh my god, and I kept that part in because it made me laugh. But and he just like went off. He just like across the room.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I'm like, will you be quiet? You can't hear him at all.
That's hilarious.
Isn't it? Yeah, I know. Back to what we were talking about. I know a lot of people that really dislike that particular company.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've had bosses with great managers.
Mm-hmm.
I've had great managers at great jobs. I've had great managers at bad jobs. I've had bad managers at bad jobs.
Yeah.
Never had a bad manager at a great job because it's not a great job if your manager sucks.
It's true.
But I had a coworker that had a date scheduled on his day off, and the manager called and was like, "Hey, can you come in to cover a shift?" I don't even think it was in our department.
Yeah.
I think it was in a different department that he had cross-trained in, and they were like, "We need you to come in and cover a shift." And he was like, on his date, and he got like 3 calls from work, and he was like, "I'm so sorry." And he picked up the phone, and the manager was like, "I need you to come in for a shift," and he was like, "No, I'm not doing that." Well, why? Because I have other plans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Work
And-
is not life.
Right. And then when he came in for his next scheduled shift, the manager pulled him into his office before he was clocked on and was like, "We need to talk about your commitment to the company because you could really like, you could be like me. I've worked here for 30 years, and I started at the bottom of the totem pole, and now I have a store, and blah, 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 blah. You really need to evaluate your priorities. And he's like, my priorities are my life.
Yeah.
I work to live, I don't live to work. I'm sorry that this is the only job you've had since you were 16, and now you're, like, pushing 50.
Yeah.
You've had one job. Good for
real.
you.
Yeah.
I guess.
Congrats, you can commit to shit.
That,
yeah.
and nothing else, because he wasn't married.
Ugh.
Although, duh, because he would have had to cancel all of his dates to go
Yeah.
work.
Yeah. I very quickly I have discovered that anything involving people other than like what I'm currently doing, which is not customer facing or patient facing, I can't do.
I went back to our mutual company a couple years ago for about 2 months.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
This is not for me. I like, respectfully, please, this is the last time I can ever work here. Please mark me as unhireable.
Yeah. 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 I don't like that company, but I will say it is the most love I've ever felt from a company. Because when I was leaving my son's father, there was a lot going on, and the area manager.
Oh, yeah.
He pulled me back into a private area because there was some stuff going on, and he was like, what is going on? So I told him the truth. I told him everything, and he was one of the most supportive people, and he was like, yeah, and he was like,
he's a good guy.
He is. He was like, if you ever need a job, just send me an email. Also, he knew, like, when I first started there, I was terrified of, like, management and upper level, like,
yeah.
And so
they're coming to visit, and you're like, don't schedule me that day.
Yeah, well, there was one time there was a bunch of like head honchos coming in, and he was like, I'm gonna keep them away from the store for you. I was like, I love you so much.
I don't know. Well, and there's that phrase of, you don't quit your job, you quit your manager. Sometimes you quit your job.
Sometimes, yeah.
And sometimes you quit your manager.
Yeah. I would say,
I think I've quit more managers than I've quit jobs, though.
I quit somewhere that was the job and the managers.
That's totally fair.
Actually, no. Looking back on it, I really enjoyed the job. There were some managers that were wonderful people, like absolutely wonderful. The company itself was awful. I was sexually harassed, and I had proof on my phone, and I showed it to them, and they dismissed it. And then I was harassed more by the girlfriend of the person who was harassing me.
She, like, bullied you.
Even though I gave her my phone and showed her that I wasn't doing anything, I said no.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was incredibly bullied.
That's crazy.
And they were just like, well, he said sorry. I was like, cool. I am not safe. Can you please do something?
Right.
At my job, I have a coworker who is just abhorrent. She will go on tirades, and she will go after a single person, and it's awful. And it would be great if in those circumstances you had to do mandatory therapy. Like, you can keep your job if you go to therapy.
Yeah.
Or you can be fired.
Oh, it is dinner time.
Feed me, Mom. Mother, I crave violence. Sometimes I do wish that I could, like, idiot sandwich someone just because I think it would be funny.
I think it would be funny. I think being an idiot's like idiot sandwiching, not being an idiot sandwich. But idiot sandwiching somebody would be there. Cheers.
Oh, don't do that. He's nasty.
Oh, you nasty. Oh, did he lick you?
Yes.
He will just lick feet for like till you make him stop. And so I'm like, it hurts. You're hurting me. Your tongue is a razor blade. You gotta stop. Whatever happened with that lady?
Nothing. She gets away with everything. She thinks that she's the boss, and she's not.
Could you stop, please? You have to pay for that. Hey.
You nasty boy.
You are nasty. Brush your teeth.
She, on Friday, she was going off about
Here.
a thing that she made. She went off about she has a file full of write-ups. And she was losing her mind about it because it wasn't working right or something.
Stop.
It wasn't working. And I just didn't respond.
Continue, I'll be right back.
Okay. I just didn't respond. And then she decided to passive-aggressively come at me. And my response to deal with her now is just to act like an airhead. And be sweet and kind. And just be an airhead. And that way, she gets more upset. And I avoid confrontation. Which is all I want.
Why does she get more upset?
Because she's not getting a rise out of me. But she's never gonna get one.
Those people suck.
Yeah.
I had a friend that was like her shtick, was to get a rise out of you. Like, she'd find something that annoyed you, and then she would keep doing it until you, like, exploded.
I don't like that.
No, neither do I.
But I feel like I was like that at one point in time in my life.
Really?
Yeah, well, it was probably when I was in my early 20s and I needed therapy.
Oh, yeah.
I still like pushing buttons, but in a very not harmful way.
Mm-hmm.
In a very, like, putting a sticky note on the bottom of someone's mouse kind of way.
Just like playful little.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rubber band around the kitchen nozzle thing.
Yeah.
Type of stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
I tried to be like mischievous like that. Whenever I play The Sims, it's like, do you like mischief? I'm like, no. No. They're like, I'm gonna meet you with the hand buzzer. I'm like, no.
no, that's harmful.
No. I don't. And like, your sim just goes around and is like fucking with people all the time. And they're like, ha ha ha. And then all of the Sims in your neighborhood hate you. This became something else. I was so on Sims for like a while recently. Mm-hmm. And now I'm not. I built this house in Billy, and what's funny is when we're not home, the dog like barks all the time, and immediately my two Sims that are me and Craig were like, I think I want to break up.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so I was like, ah! So I just stopped. No, honey, you don't need to do that.
It's bad juju.
He's got shaky ankles. I know we talked about this last time, but like sometimes he'll be in the kitchen and he'll just like whoop, one of his feet just goes. I'm like, baby, no,
you old man,
you little grandpa. One thing I will say is my boss is so respectful of my off time. She will not do something as opposed to disturb me.
That's amazing.
Which I have told her, call me. If it's 5 minutes, like, how do I do this? This is how. Okay, great. Call me, text me, ask me. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. Let's get the task done. But she's like, you're not here. I'm not going to ask you. She's called me like a couple times and been like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's fine. But we went on vacation not too long ago. Mm-hmm. I got one text, and it was just like, I'm so sorry to bother you. Do you know where this is? And I was like, yep, cabinet. Goes, okay, great. have a great trip. Versus, like, my last job, I love them all so much. All of my coworkers from my last job are wonderful. It's been 2.5 years since I quit, and they still call me with questions. And I had to take my laptop on every vacation because they would need me to do something on the weekend, on my time, like, constantly. My time off was not my time off. And I was still on call the whole time.
Yeah.
Which was frustrating.
If I ever had a job that did that to me, I would be like, you don't pay me enough.
They didn't.
and have you ever watched Superstore?
No.
Oh, okay.
I need to.
There's a quote that one of the characters says. I won't tell you which one because you'll eventually come across it. But the character says, I do just enough to not get fired. And that is what I do unless you pay me a lot.
Compensatory.
Yeah.
Did we ever finish your story about what happened? You said she's not Yes, we did, because I got up and gave him a treat to try and get him distracted. There's always someone that's, like, untouchable. I'm not a work from home person. I'm not built that way. I don't like it. I have been, stop, please stop, hey, please stop. I have been, you can take that down and cover him up. I think he'll actually love that. Want a blanket? You want a blanket? He loves a blanket. Some people work really well from home. I don't. I'm like, I'm gonna make brownies, I'm gonna do laundry, I'm gonna do the dishes. Oh man, my phone is ringing. No.
I feel like I'm okay working from home. I feel like it's good for me because because of chronic illness.
The chronicle of illness.
Yeah. I feel like I would not be at work more if I didn't work from home. Not only because of me, but because of Jason. But
yeah. I worked from home not that long ago because I was having tummy issues. And it was fine. It just, like, if there's not a lot to do, if I'm at the office, I can find something to do.
Yeah.
If I'm at home, I'm looking at my emails. And if there's no emails,
you got stuff to do here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I could make something. I could wash something. I could cover the baby in blankets when it's a bajillion degrees outside.
You're so cute.
Excuse me, I burped.
I know
he barked.
I know you hate me, but I love you so much. You know, honestly.
That's a Kesha lyric. I'm gonna love you even though you hate me.
You are the only man that I will accept that from, Doe. I'm just letting you know.
Toxic.
This is the only toxic relationship I'll ever have again.
So I'm trying to think of a job that, like, where I delivered food on roller skates. And I loved that job. Except it was like I was in high school. There were cool girls, and there was, like, the favorites, and the owners were pretty young. And they were nice. Everyone there was nice. But when I got hired, I had to pay to have change on me. I had to buy the change in my changer because they were giving me like $30, so I had to give them $30. And then when I quit, I had to give them back my changer.
That sounds weird.
Yeah, like it did not balance out. In the beginning, it balanced. If I had kept all of the change in my changer, it would have balanced, but I had to give it back full.
Weird.
Yeah. And then why we parted ways, I had 3 jobs at the time. And they said, okay, we need your schedule 3 weeks in advance. And I was like, or maybe it was 2, but it was like, we need your schedule 2 weeks in advance. And I was like, my schedule comes out on Saturday.
Yeah.
for Sunday. Like, I don't know if I'm working Sunday until Saturday night, and someone calls me and says, you're working Sunday, and I'm like, okay, great. That's it. Like, I have a day's notice. I cannot comply with that scheduling policy. And they were like, well, then what do you want to do? I was like, I will work the next 2 weeks that I'm scheduled, and then that'll be it. I have to, obviously this isn't going to work out. However I phrased it, I didn't say 2 weeks notice or have to quit. I was like, this is not going to be a good fit for me. I'll work my scheduled notice and then leave.
Yeah.
They did not consider that 2 weeks notice. So I finished my scheduled shifts, and then I went in like a couple weeks later and turned in my changer and everything, and they were like, oh, you have to sign this notice of dismissal because we're firing you for non-compliance with the, like, you just ghosted us and didn't turn in your schedule. I was like, I fucking quit in writing. I said I will work my final 2 weeks and then be gone. Is that not quitting? And they were like, well, you didn't say. So technically I was fired.
Mm-hmm. That's really dumb.
That whole thing, like, I would work 2-hour shifts. I had a 30 to 40 minute walk to the bus stop, a 30 to 40 minute bus ride. I'd work 2 hours, and then I would take a 30 to 40 minute bus ride home, 30 40 minute walk back to my house.
That's illegal.
Well, they would schedule me for 4 hours and then send me home halfway through. And the policy was whoever came in first goes home first. So if there's too many of us, the person that's been here the longest is leaving. Well, I was a trainee. So they would send me home first because they needed the more qualified person. And I was like, this fucking sucks, dude.
Well, yeah. And
I'm roller skating in the snow because it's mandatory. You don't let us not skate when there's 8 inches of snow on the ground. This is bunk. I'm leaving. But I would work there again. Like, if I could have a job if they would let me wear roller skates to work, I would absolutely do it.
That would be fun.
I kind of want to ask my boss. I know she'd say no.
I mean, I feel like if there were clients in office,
they'd get a kick out of it. I'd come in like my rockabilly, like retro poofy dresses and roller skates and be like, hey, how are you?
That would be pretty good. That would be hilarious.
I'll happily be a receptionist if I can wear roller skates and be like, right this way, and like, wee, roll around. That's amazing.
I feel like that should be a thing at pediatricians too. That would be
salons, dude.
Yeah.
Anywhere that there's a person behind a desk, they should surprise you with roller skates.
That would be great.
Yes, it would.
Man, I just remembered something that makes me very angry about my job.
Yes, tell me.
So, this kind of ties into Friday, and one of the reasons I got so upset, that my coworker sent out an email that was like, hey, we should make our tumor boards the way they used to be, which right now it's every day of the week someone is off the oncology list and answering emails, preparing tumor boards, doing that fun stuff.
Tumor boards sound thrilling.
They're not.
Cheers.
But it would take the peds tumor board and she would do it exclusively. She's someone who cuts corners and does not do a good job.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I started doing the peds tumor board when everything switched over to this format. There are always at least 2 patients on there that are incorrect, that have some sort of error, wrong birthday, misspelled, and it's like, it makes me furious.
Yeah, as it
makes
should.
me angry because, and on so many different levels too, as an employee, because it takes 2 seconds to verify name and date of birth, and literally that's their only job: name, date of birth, and their diagnosis. That's it. 2 seconds. And it doesn't even make me angry when they get the diagnosis wrong.
Yeah.
Because that, like, I can, with the name and the date of birth, I can look it up. It's not hard.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always wrong. And it's always very, very wrong. Or they just forget to put it on there. And so as an employee, it makes me angry. As a parent, it makes me angry because if I knew that someone was putting incorrect information on my child who has cancers, like on their like stuff,
their chart.
Yeah, and it was pertinent, I would not want them on my child's care team.
No,
absolutely not.
No, never.
And like, this has made me so angry that I've like cried about it to my boss, because it's always at least 2. I have not touched one that doesn't have any mistakes on it. And it's so, and like, it's also because, like, as a human, it's a child. It's a child who hasn't lived their lives, that might not get to live their life. And they deserve the best of the best care, because they're babies. They didn't do anything, and they're not doing anything. And it makes me so mad, because it literally 2 seconds, name, date of birth, make sure it's right, send it out. And
that hurts my heart.
And like, with how often it happens, it makes me think that it's been happening for a while, and my coworker just hasn't said anything. And it makes me so angry.
Do you call them on it?
The reason I cried to my boss about it was because it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
It breaks HIPAA, which is the law.
Yeah.
And it's wrong on so many levels, and I don't know. I didn't know how to, like...
My brain did the Bo Burnham thing. It was wrong on so many levels, like the elevator joke.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's good. But I was like, I don't know who to go to.
Oh, thank you.
To get it fixed.
It breaks HIPAA, but it's also just like, give a shit.
Yeah, about kids.
About anyone.
I mean, like, if it was adults, I don't think it would make me as angry.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's kids, give a shit about kids.
Oh, so like it would upset me if it was, I don't know why I'm so far forward. It would still upset me if it was an adult, because I'm, again, just care. That's all
hard.
I'm asking. Like, even just have pride in yourself, in your job, and take the extra 2 seconds to double check that you're right.
She is delusional about, like, how much pride she has in her job. If I were to bring a mistake up to this person, there would be significant gaslighting, and it would be turned around and it would be, oh, well, I wasn't the last person to write it up, when clearly their name is on it.
I had on, like, my mind gaslighting at work.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, well, it's so hard for me to, how do I phrase this? Not to own a mistake, because it's not that hard for me to own a mistake.
Yeah.
But it kind of is, because I take so much pride in my job,
mm-hmm.
that I'm like, when I make a mistake, I'm like, damn it! I made a mistake, and I own up to it, but I'm just like that. Like, one of the more common ones that I do is like copy paste a template, and
mm-hmm.
it says like, hello, person, and it says name, or, you know, whatever. Like, it just has things in all caps or something. And I'll send that out, and then I'll email them immediately. Like, I'll wait a minute and then send a reply and be like, I'm so sorry, I gambled on a copy paste and lost. And I just throw it out there of like, this is the reality. We all copy paste stuff. Mm-hmm. I gambled on a copy paste and lost. But I, like, when it's a big mistake, I beat myself up about it a lot. And so the fact that there are people out there that just don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care. They made a mistake. It's not a big deal. I'm like, yes, it is. Especially when it is a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and it breaks, I don't know, the law.
Anything medical, if you make a mistake, that's a big deal.
It depends on what it is. They're little things. Like, they're typos and stuff, and when you're writing H&P,
true,
not a big deal. But if you're actually in the chart and you're prescribing medication, yeah, that's a big deal.
Well, in the wrong prescription, you'll kill someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so if the chart is wrong, you can prescribe things wrong. If you put the wrong name on a chart, but you put the right information on the chart, this patient is allergic to penicillin, and then they put my name on it instead of your name, oops, you killed the other person.
Yeah. That's very true.
I'm a perfectionist and I'm a people pleaser and I don't like to make mistakes. So when other people make mistakes and are like, meh, I'm like, get out of here.
See, I'm meh on the outside. But it's not like I'm meh on the outside. I'm like, oh crap, I'll fix it, and then I fix it, and then I'm like, I'm gonna beat myself up about this internally for a while now.
Yeah. Whereas I'm like, oh, like I made a mistake, and I get really, that's dramatic, obviously, but I'm just like, shit, that's me, I'm sorry, oh man, and then like the rest of the day I'm like, you're an idiot, like I'm really hard on myself.
Yeah.
I deal with a lot of sensitive information, and so when I make a mistake, I'm like, ugh. So that's why I got so upset with the lady this morning, that I was like, I will own a mistake, I will acknowledge a mistake, this was not a mistake on my part. I followed your instructions as you gave them to me. Your instructions were insufficient.
Yeah.
You didn't file your paperwork correctly. That's what I used to tell people my job was, and it still kind of is.
I feel like you should have sent that with the meme of the
her picture. You didn't file your paperwork correctly.
I feel like the world would be a better place if people could just admit they make mistakes, because it's not like a lot of life is making mistakes and learning from them.
Yeah, and it sucks, but it's called being accountable. And it's the way of the grown-up.
Yeah.
You own your shit.
Yeah.
If you want good things, you gotta do good stuff.
Yeah.
And that includes your quality of work.
Yeah. But, yeah. It's really sad, Jason, when he does something bad, he'll say, I'm a bad kid. And I'm like, honey, you're not a bad kid. You're just learning. It's okay.
This is new to you. You've never been here before.
Yeah, life is just learning and making mistakes. You're not a bad kid. You're a good kid. You made a mistake, and that's okay.
Yeah. I think that I told Lauren this at work too. I was like, you are like, you're such a good parent in that you apologize to your child. Like, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Is, hey, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. I told you the wrong thing. Like, Mom got that wrong or whatever. And just like, oh, I did something bad. And it's like, you didn't do something bad. You made a mistake. It's okay. Mom makes mistakes. Dad makes mistakes. We make mistakes. I think that's amazing. I think that people that don't apologize to their kids and, like,
You gotta lead by example.
Yeah, you're teaching your kid to just, like, express and understand the world, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's good. That's what you want.
Yeah, and I don't want Jason to grow up to be an asshole, so I'm not gonna be an asshole to my kid.
Assholes make assholes, everybody.
It's very true.
I mean, not always. I feel like sometimes kids that are raised by assholes are just like, I'm not gonna be my parents.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's probably less common.
Yeah. I was scrolling through TikTok today, and one of my more liked creators, one of the creators I like more, was like, hey, just in case nobody's told you, I'm proud of you. You came from basically a villain city of a family, and look at you. You're kind, you're compassionate, you're a good person, and you came from shit.
Dude, TikTok is so funny, and that person doesn't know you.
No.
But TikTok fucking knows you.
Yeah.
TikTok's like, ooh, baby girl, I see you.
Yeah.
I see your childhood. I see your teenagedom. I see your adulthood. I see you right now. Because there's a camera on your phone.
Yeah.
Hey.
Just upstairs.
I love you so much.
Yeah, you're crying.
Come here. Come cuddle. Come cuddle. I realized that, so I'm on Tutter TikTok from Bear in the Big Blue House. And Tutter was always my favorite. When I was a kid, I was like, oh, that mouse is not okay.
Yeah.
I love him. I'm Tutter. I grew up to be Tutter. Did I send you the one of him being like, I don't know what to wear. I don't know what to wear. I was like, that's me every morning.
Yeah.
I look in my closet and go, I don't know what to wear. And I want to wake up Craig and be like, does this look good? Help. Please? And every once in a while, he's like, "You should change your pants." He's got good fashion. The boy's got good fashion.
Yeah. I've never seen Craig dress up in anything other than like a t-shirt and jeans.
I should show you a picture because we went to the Nutcracker. Okay. What?
I love your radar dish ears.
Boo. Boo. That is definitely sonar. Well, I think we can probably wrap this up.
Yes.
Thank you so much for bitching about work with us. I hope that you are also sitting at your computer being like, yeah,
hell yeah. Fuck people.
Down with capitalism.
Yeah, for real.
Fuck the system. We'll see you next time.
Do you want to say goodbye?
He just blows the mic.
Do you want to say goodbye? Not to me. Not yet. To the people. You want to say... Okay. Good job.
Thank you so much for joining us. We've been Happy Peas, and I still don't know how to close this off, so this is how we're gonna end it. Goodbye.
Goodbye.